Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Good afternoon, and dear guests. I welcome you all for the 30 Toastmasters meeting number 828. I am Rajshekar Mohan, Sergeant at Arms for this club. Before we begin, let me give you some ground rules to be followed for that to ensure the smooth connectivity. Kindly put your mobile phones on silent mode and give you 10 seconds. Thank you. Our club consists of individuals from diverse backgrounds. To maintain a respectful environment, kindly avoid talking topics related to sex, religion, and politics. Refrain from moving around when somebody is speaking, as it can be distracting to both the speaker and the audience. For the benefit of guests, it is reiterated that discuss problems is a ideal response for the government. Since this is the new place, the restrooms are located in southwest corner and water is available outside. Now let us remind ourselves of the Toastmasters mission. We empower individuals to become a confident communicators and leaders by providing a supportive and positive learning experience and fosters self-confidence and personal growth. With a uplifting note, it will be a great pleasure to introduce our presiding officer for the day, a dedicated Toastmaster for past 2 years and dynamic president of our club. She is admired for her warm smile, tireless efforts, and vibrant spirit. Let's give a hearty welcome to Toastmaster Manila.
Gave a bountiful harvest. Like that, fertile soil, Toastmaster is a nice environment, friendly environment, as well as it is a situation or the favorable environment to improve our communication skill as well as our leadership skills. So it is up to us to use that one. So here I want to emphasize for the information of the guest. Toastmaster International is a century-old international organization. It was founded by Rothschild mainly to improve the individual's communication skill and leadership skills. Now it has spread worldwide and we have a lot of clubs and Toastmasters. And once you join Toastmasters, your hidden talents will be brought out and you can improve your communication and leadership skill. But conditions apply. The reason is, Toastmasters here, the learning is self-paced learning. For the seed to grow well, not only the fertile soil, but the embryo inside this seed is needed. Likewise, to flourish well and to bring out your talents, we need the dedication, the sincerity and your willingness to come out of the comfort zone and to involve yourself in the Toastmaster events and meetings. So my dear new members, so don't wait for the new PE to call for the roles. You volunteer yourself and take up roles and bring out your hidden talents. And for the new member, for the guest, you join Toastmasters and to taste that feeling. That is, this is the only place where you can make mistakes and you can learn well and you can bring out your hidden talents. There is a saying, what you see, what you hear, you'll forget. What you see, you'll understand. But what you do, you will understand better. For that, I request all the guests and new members to take up roles and understand and feel the Toastmasters journey. With this, I would like to hand over to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Day.
Thank you so much, Presiding Officer, Toastmaster Anurada. Good afternoon, Toastmasters.
Good afternoon.
Today the theme is embracing the triple E for the healthier mindset. Mind can stay attractive and get distracted. A common man can easily get into distraction with no awareness. Staying attentive on one single thing is a big challenge to many of us. So Buddha once said, if you can stay with the mind breath for 7 minutes, you will get without any disruption, you will get enlightened. So good afternoon, Toastmasters and dear guests. I'm Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Hema. Mind doesn't stay in single state for a longer time, isn't it? That is its nature. In fact, it gets lost, it fluctuates to different levels. But healthy mind can stay attentive longer than unhealthy mind. What is healthy mind? What is healthy mind? Healthy mind. Happy. Okay. Is happy everyone say na? Alert. Yes. Balance. Balance. Okay.
Focus.
Healthy mind. Focus.
Focus.
Yes. So mind which is aware and observant of this one more negative feelings and thoughts. Mind which is focusing on the positive thoughts and feelings again and again, which rejoices and relives it. Mind focusing on the positive object, sustaining that for a longer time without any disruption, getting lost completely, or considered as a healthy mind. Mind is a very powerful tool which can create the positive and negative feelings based on the experience. But healthy mind is something, irrespective of the nature, it can only turn the experience into positive things. There are certain healthy mindset experience certain mind states, like being completely lost in the action they have taken, internally motivated, sense of ecstasy, inner clarity, and knowing with the enormous confidence that I can, and a sense of serenity prevailing all they learn quickly and complete the task effortlessly. So these particular zone is considered the highest positive state. Psychologists refer this as a state of flow or flow state. Okay? In the flow state, one can lose completely into the action, irrespective of the time, place, and even if any external distraction, you will not get disturbed. So this flow state, even in the flow state, any individual, his performance will be on the higher side. Be it a common man or a sports person or a musician or any martial artist. So what are the flow state, it's associated with the happiness, performance, growth, learning, satisfaction and inner happiness. So anyone can focusing on the focusing on without any compulsion, focusing on the likable activity will always take you to the flow state. So with this, I just want to stop with this. I want to proceed further. As a Toastmaster of the day, I'll be, there are 3 segments. One is a prepared speech, which will last for 5 to 7 minutes. Another one is a table topic, which will last for 2 to 3 minutes. And another one is an evaluation, that is, table topic 1 to 2 minutes and the evaluation 2 to 3 minutes. So it is my responsibility to review the speakers for today's speaking. Before that, I want to hand over the stage to the general evaluator, Toastmaster Pt1. Toastmaster Pt1, an NGO officer who prioritizes mental health, enjoys music when angry, eats ice cream when hungry.
When we just walked inside this campus, what was the feeling? That physical days. We were so happy to walk inside. I still remember when we were in school, we didn't even wait for the school bell to ring. We screamed home so that we could start our days. We used to book so many stories which was filled with enthusiasm and a little bit of mischief in it. Remember all those clever excuses you gave for not finishing your homeworks? Yes. Why am I telling all of this? I request you all to relive those moments when you are here on the stage. Supposedly, if you hear any bell sound or timer, where is that timer? Can you just give a? If you hear any such bell sound, please don't run out. Stay inside. This is for you to help move on to the next minute. Just watch what he's trying to say. If you have any exciting stories, it starts with ahs, don't hesitate. We are very happy to hear it today. And all those sweet words, excuses you gave, please try to bring it here because we have something called as record book. We are going to maintain that record book. And to keep that record book intact, I have very good, strong team named as TAG. I'm very happy we have some teachers. Teachers, let me tell you, we have some students. I'll tell you how they were when they were in school. Today, timer is played by Toastmaster Uma Maheshwar. I suppose he's playing it for the first time. You know what he did when he was in 10th grade? It was Ganesh Chaturthi. And he went with his friend to record the dance, bunking his Hindi private tuition. Surprise! Who comes there to dance? His Hindi teacher. He happily takes him back to his class and breaks all the stick. Moral of the story he gives. Then on, he never missed his Hindi class in his lifetime. Even if he entered a theatre, movie theatre, he promptly finished his Hindi projects there. So let me welcome Toastmaster Uma Maheshwar, Hindi teacher's favorite student. Please be open.
Hi. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
Today my role is
timer. As a timer, I will make a note of time taken for each speaker, and I will also alert the speakers when they reach the maximum time, qualified time, with these cards. Okay, the green card indicates the speech is qualified for the voting, and the yellow card, they are ready to close those speech, and at red card they have to wrap up their speech and conclude the speech. Okay, there are different types of speech. For icebreaker speech, maximum time is 4 to 6 minutes. At 4 minutes, I will show the green card. At 5 minutes, I show yellow card. At 6 minutes, I will show the red card. For prepared speech, the time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will use green card. At 6 minutes, I will use yellow, and at 7 minutes, I will show the red card. For evaluations, the time allotted is 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will show green card. At 2.5 minutes, I will show yellow. At 3 minutes, I will show the red card. For the table topics, the time allotted is 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will show the green. At 1.5 minutes, yellow, and at 2 minutes, red card. To qualify for the table topics, you must have to speak at least 1 minute. And everyone will get 30 minutes of grace time. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
When we will get to hear the bell ring?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. When the maximum time limit, when I show the record, I will play the bell sound as well. That means you will have still 30 seconds more to wrap up your speech to qualify.
Thank you. Special school edition with that bell ring. Please continue. Next, our counter will be played by Toastmasters Suresh. When he was in 12th grade, Toastmaster Suresh, after his 12th, he joins tally class with his friend. The best part was not the tally class, but going with his friend taking that 25G bus, the long route. Initial days there was excitement. Later on what happens, there was some boredom. He thought he will miss his tally class. And he bunks one of his tally class, and when he goes back home to his surprise, his father comes to check the bus ticket pass which has a tick mark, and he had not got that tick mark because he had bunked the class. He runs taking that ticket so that he puts a tick. His pen also does not support him. Bad luck, he gets beatings from his father. The moral of the lesson he gives here is, when you act very smart, you get extraordinarily caught by the heart. So please, I request our tally expert, Toastmasters Suresh, to please read out your opportunities.
Thanks to Toastmasters here for the wonderful introduction. So when I entered this school, so I quickly recall the old memories. So especially this class, so my favorite spot is that corridor place. So that's why I was an outstanding student that time. So that was my favorite spot actually. So before I begin, so I quickly wanted to thank Toastmasters for the opportunity. So last time I played the timer role, and today he gave me an opportunity to play the outcome role. So thank you so much. And good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am Suresh, and I have the honor of playing the role of all-counter today. As an all-counter, my responsibility is to listen carefully to all the speakers and note down any fillers or any catchwords that the speakers may use during the speeches. So these sounds includes the sounds like so, you know, like, but, or any repeated words or any phrases that actually not fit in. Okay. So these fillers often slip into our speeches unconsciously, and it might distract the audiences, or it will also not create a big impact during your speeches. So my role is to help you and make you aware, and so that you can stay away from those fillers and make your speech more effective. Okay. At the end of the meeting, I will show my observations and provide the detailed reports on the outcome. I wish you all the best. Thank you once again.
It is definitely we played by this master Dinesh. When he was in ninth grade, there will be a sudden surprise check of boys' bags. And you know what was caught in his bag? Headmaster saw a CD. And he was not happy with this inappropriate wrong behavior of Dinesh. And he tells, looking at his face, "You too, Brutus." So over to you, Toastmaster Dinesh, and please hear our questions.
Thank you, Brilliant. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and JKers. I'll be playing the role of grammarian today. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words such as quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day, which is reciprocal. Reciprocal is an arrangement or an action involving two people or groups who behave the same way or help each other and give each other advantages. For example, an example of using the word reciprocal is, as we saw in the news, India was slapped with 26% discounted reciprocal tariff, which is half of the tariff imposed by India on US. We invited them to dinner and a week later they reciprocated. Maybe someone, a member of this can also use the word reciprocal. An example, word reciprocal.
When we entered this classroom, Toastmasters were reciprocal arranging all these things.
Reciprocal.
So it's not much.
Yes.
My son helped me out with my daily household chores, so I reciprocated by telling him you don't have to study today.
Oh my God. Being in school, you are telling him not to study. Anyone else? Another last one. Example. Reciprocal, reciprocate. Okay. So anyway, we'll have good usages. At the end of the meeting, I'll again come back to give my grammarian report. For now, over to you, General Manager.
That was my wonderful tag team. I'll be back again with my second set, which is evaluation. It's over to you.
It is time to hear about just call the speakers. First speaker, Toastmaster Praja. Before calling Toastmaster Praja, I'd like to call her evaluator, Toastmaster identity.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Today, my target speaker, Toastmasters Supraja, is going to present in the pathway of presentation mastery. Purpose of this project is for the member to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Speech title is Past for years, now playing. Can you please note the timing? Duration is 4 to 6 minutes.
Toastmaster Supraja is a strategy and consulting professional with more than a decade of work experience. She is also a freelance consultant, yoga and meditation teacher with Art of Living organization. Here's her icebreaker speech. The title is Past for years, now playing. Toastmaster Supraja. Past for years, now playing.
They say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Mine began with trembling legs, shaky hands, and a speech I could barely remember. But a moment I will never forget. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am Toastmaster Supraja, and I would like to share my journey with public speaking and how it got me here. That nervous little girl was 11-year-old me, delivering the school assembly speech for the first time. And I remember my heart was pounding louder than the school bell. I fumbled, and I'm pretty sure I forgot almost half the speech. I somehow managed, and when I stepped down, my teacher actually walked up to me and she smiled and she said, "Getting on that stage takes more strength than any applause could ever measure." That sentence instilled a tiny seed of confidence years also passed by. I decided to take a break from work and pursue my MBA. And during my MBA, one of my professors called me on stage in front of a 200-member audience, and he asked me to deliver an impromptu speech. I went ahead with all my heart. I thought I had killed it. I had done great. Until I watched the recording. Let's just say reality hit hard. The R's, the ums, the lackluster content, my hands vigorously moving, I almost cringed. That was the time I actually realized that if I had to be a good leader, I need to speak like a leader. That friend's suggestion of joining Toastmasters was ringing in my head very, very intensely. It was as though I was almost in, but I just needed that final kick of motivation. And after my MBA, I joined in the strategy and consulting space. And majority of my work actually includes persuading and influencing senior level executives. And I very quickly realized that storytelling is not a luxury in this space, but it's a necessity. And that brings me to the day that gave me that final kick of motivation. I was attending a leadership conference, and one of the senior leaders from my organization was actually delivering a 30-minute speech. What amazed me about that speech was there were no props, no slides, nothing. 30-minute speech, completely gripping, mind-boggling, great inspirational stories, and not a single person actually checked their phone. I stood there thinking that day, wow, what does it take to have that level of presence in the room? I came back that night and I signed up for Toastmasters. And since then, there has been no looking back. In retrospective, yes, I paused. Yes, I hesitated. But I stand here today with no regrets. Because pausing is not a failure sometimes. It's life's way of showing you that no matter what's important is you gather up that confidence, that inner strength to grow and to rise and to become a better person. So, paused for years and now playing. Now, I'm playing with all my heart, all the confidence and all the passion to become that leader and the storyteller I've always wanted to become. Thank you everyone for listening.
A wonderful speech, Paja. Now I'd like to call our second speaker, Toastmaster Abhirami Ayavre. Before calling her, I'd like to call her evaluator, Toastmaster role.
Very good afternoon. I'm in Toastmaster role. Today I'll be evaluating Toastmaster Abhirami Ayavre's speech. Toastmaster Abhirami will be presenting her speech from Pathway Presentation Mastery, Level 1 Speech 4, and Project Evaluation and Feedback. The purpose of the speech of the project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. Timer, please note, speech duration is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster.
Now, Toastmaster Abhirami Ayavre, chartered accountant by profession, practicing in good corporate. Her profession journey has been enriched by a strong interest in emerging technologies, which led her to specialize as an AM certified auditor. This specialization allows her to bring cutting-edge insight into her work, blending traditional financial expertise with innovative technology. Beyond her work, she is deeply passionate about the art of public speaking, and aspire to develop the skills to become a professional speaker. First class Abhinami. First class Abhinami on this on your pages.
What if I told you to become a millionaire with one simple idea? No, this is not a scam. No need to invest in crypto or sell an aloe vera gel. Then, invent a device that attracts plastics like a magnet. Not from your dustbin, not from your ocean, but from your bloodstream. No, this is not a Netflix thriller. It's what happening in your plate. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. We are not just living in the age of AI and UPI, we are also living in the age of PA, plastic invasion. And the worst part, we are using the plastic like it's look like part of our everyday living. First, what are microplastics? Microplastics are plastic pieces smaller than 5 millimeter in size. Imagine a grain of salt. Microplastics are that small or even smaller. They are small, invisible and sneakier than your neighbor auntie who watches your every Amazon delivery. How do they sneak into us? Let us ask now. Do you drink bottled water?
Yes.
Do you eat seafood?
Definitely.
Do you breathe?
Yes.
Congrats. You are all microplastic magnets. Microplastics are everywhere. In our food, in our drink, even in the air we breathe. A study by State Pollution Control Board of Kerala found microplastics in coastal sample salt. Yes, even something as simple as table salt is not safe anymore. Not only that, in 2019, scientists tested bottled waters with popular brands like Aquafina and Bisleri. And guess what? 93% of them had microplastics. So when you drink water, it feels extra crunchy, then you know why. And if you plan to eat healthy, great. But a study in Italy found that microplastics are even present in apples, carrots, and even broccoli.
Right.
So, fishes and prawns caught in Chennai and Vizag full of plastics. And if you are thinking, I am vegetarian, I am safe, and I am so sorry. Even paneer is packed like it's going for a space mission. 3 layers of plastic for a tiny piece. Not only that, we are inhaling microplastics too. In fact, one study estimates an average adult inhales and ingests 5 grams of plastic every week. That is roughly a size of a credit card. Imagine swallowing a credit card every week. Not very appetizing, right? Okay. What microplastic will do for us and how dangerous are they? In 2022, it was confirmed that microplastics are found in human blood and even in breast milk. They are not just chilling in our tummy, they are entering into our bloodstreams, into our lungs, even found in placentas. They disturb our hormones, weaken our immune system, reduce fertility, and even lead to cancer. Enough, right? Then, can we escape this trap? Look, we can't live like caveman, right? But we can live smart. we can use steel dabbas and steel water bottles instead of plastic ones. Further, please avoid microwaving food in plastic. These plastic safe container is lying to you like our politicians before elections. Now, please raise your hand if you have one bag full of carry bags in your boat. Let's stop this hereditary transfer of covers. Please use cloth bags instead of plastic ones. Carry one with in your bike, car, even in your handbag. Avoid groceries wrapped in plastic. Ever bought 4 bananas wrapped with 2 layers of plastic? Why? Go to your local Anachi Kadai. No packaging, no good. Refill your bottle. The polyester cloths will shed microplastic every wash. Instead, use cotton or cotton cloths. You will sweat less, itch less, even you can save the planet. By bringing these small changes, we are not only protecting our health but also protecting our future generations. Because we don't see the microplastic, we don't taste them, but they are there everywhere. If we don't act right now, our future generation no need of horror movies. Their real life will be scary enough. So let's act, let's speak, let's switch over steel with plastics, jute over guilt, and conscious choices over convenient ones. Because scariest problems in lives are often the ones we never even see. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Adriana. We have left a lot of doubts whether we eat beans or what. Until next week, next Toastmaster meeting, you will select us like that. We leave you with opinions. We eat this. Okay, this is good or bad. Thank you so much for that. This is eye-opening. So those are the things we know, but you have given too much of information. Thank you so much. Next speaker is Toastmaster Narendra. Before calling Toastmaster Narendra, I would like to call evaluator BTM Thomas Nagaraj.
Good afternoon. You're going to listen to Toastmaster Narendra taking up his Level 2, Project 3, Introduction to Mentoring from his Persuasive Influence part. The purpose of this project is to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. Overview, let me say that he is expected to write, prepare and present a 5 to 7 minute speech about the time he was a prodigy. He is expected to share the impact and the importance of having a mentor. It's not a report on this project, but it's a speech which can be humorous, persuasive, informative, or whatever on this topic. So the topic, the one and only is the title, Fact Review.
Toastmaster Narendra, who is working as a software architect in an MNC called Bounteous. He likes listening to music and challenge himself by learning new things. His favorite quote is, "The more I learn, the less I know." Toastmaster Narendra, the title is The One and Only Toastmaster.
How many of you know who Edmund Hillary is? Yes? Climbed Mount Everest. That's right. He was the first person to climb Mount Everest, the tallest peak on earth. Climbing it was considered impossible at that time. But Edmund Hillary thought otherwise and made the impossible possible. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, We all have our own Everest, don't we? Some daunting goal that seems almost impossible to achieve. However, when we have a mentor to guide us, then scaling our Everest would not seem so intimidating. My Everest is that one day I would like to run my own software company. From my time as a protege in Toastmasters, I've learned 3 valuable lessons which I'm sure would help me in climbing my Everest. How about I share them with you all today? Think like the audience. Don't think like a speaker or a writer. This was the most important lesson that I learned from my mentor, distinguished Toastmaster, Dr. Sundararaman Chintamani. The initial draft of my icebreaker speech was more like an essay of my life rather than a speech. It was not good enough. After reviewing it, Sundararaman sir called me up and explained how I should approach the process of writing a speech. He shared some simple techniques that I can use to make my speeches more compelling. For example, explaining incidents through conversations instead of narrations, presenting some interesting stats, and using some relatable examples, and a few more techniques. The crux of this message was, think from the audience's perspective and find ways to keep them engaged. This was an eye-opening message for me. As a software architect, I often present technical ideas that would determine whether we win or lose a client. By thinking from the client's perspective, I can anticipate the details they're looking for, and I'm able to impress them with my presentations time and again. This has helped me stand out from my peers. I'm absolutely sure that this valuable lesson of thinking from the audience's perspective will also help me out greatly when I'm running my own company in the future. Invest in the growth of your teammates, even if it puts the results at risk. As some of you may know, I was the contest chair of the Area C3 Q&A speech and evaluation contest that was conducted last October. But guess what? Prior to that, I have never attended even a single area contest, not even as a guest. Despite that, Toastmaster Prasanavani appointed someone like me with absolutely no experience as the contest chair of her very first contest as the area director. What a huge risk to take. But thanks to that risk, I got the amazing opportunity to organize an area contest. And I learned a lot of valuable lessons from that unique experience. Toastmaster Prasanavani may not be my official mentor, but I learned a lot of leadership lessons from her during the whole process. The biggest one, of course, was her investment in my growth, even if it came with a risk. Sometimes, leaders tend to focus entirely on results. Yes, results are important, but so is the growth of their teammates. A good leader also invests in the growth of their teammates by giving them enough opportunities and by providing them a safety net to learn, experiment, and grow. Even if these investments don't pay off right away, they will definitely pay off in the long run. Find that one person who can take you to the top of your Everest. When I was given the opportunity to be the milestone chair by our president, a negative voice popped up in my head and asked me, organizing a milestone meeting? What on earth are you thinking? How do you balance your work and this huge responsibility? One person listened to my self-doubts. He calmly sat me down and told me, just relax. Try to give it a shot. Even if you fail, you can tell yourself that you gave it a good try. That's much better than not trying at all. Not only did he encourage me, but he also helped me in solving all the challenges that I faced along the way. Any guesses on who this person was? I was this person. That's right, fellow Toastmasters. You are your own source of strength. You are the mastermind who can solve each and every problem that you face. You are the visionary who can identify the path to your goals. Yes, your mentors will be able to guide you, but you are the one and the only person who can take you to the top of your interest.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Varenka. Really congratulate you. We are seeing you, you are harnessing your every tribe to become a true leader. All the best for that. So now I would like to call our fourth speaker, Toastmaster Jayashree. Before calling her up, I would like to call her evaluator, Toastmaster Shankar.
Thank you, Pt1. We are going to witness one of the great speech in a few seconds, and the project is the pathway from engaging humor, reflect your thought. The purpose of this project is for the member to reflect and growth during the completion of the entire project. Very all the best.
And about Toastmaster Jayashree, she is currently working as a senior project manager at the